Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Hale and you're watching my Truth Bomb series, a series of short videos on relationships and the things you get told that just aren't true and why that's a problem and where does the truth really lie. So today I'd like to address a particular piece of advice that floats around all over the place. And that's the idea that if you're in a long-term relationship and your sexual desire levels aren't matched, like over time, one or both of you has become less interested in sex, you're not having as much sex as you want to. And this idea is, look, you know, this is normal, people get bored, so just spice it up a little bit. Just spice up your sex life. So today's truth bomb is, this is really bad advice. And that's not to say that it's not, it's a bad idea to, you know, explore some fantasies, do some kinky things, at all. But it's not going to solve the problem, which is leading to the lack of sexual desire. So let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail, right? Let's say you've got a couple, they've been together 8 or 9 years, and over time the amount of sex they're having has declined. Maybe they have a couple of kids, maybe one or both of them has a very demanding job or a business, they're tired, they're stressed, and you know, they're not having as much sex as they'd like, or one of them would like. So why would it be a bad idea to take this spice up your sex life advice? Well, number one, it's because when someone's sexual desire goes down, the reason for that is never boredom. Like, I'm going to go right out there and say never. It's never boredom. So if it's not boredom, what is it? And usually, in most cases, there's an underlying emotional mismatch between the people, some kind of tension, some kind of emotional conflict which has not been resolved, and that gets in the way of sexual desire. Now, in the early stages of a relationship and when you're young, especially if you're in a male body and you've got testosterone going on, all kinds of horrible stuff can happen and the other person can treat you really badly, but you still have this initial, you know, like new relationship energy, falling in love, testosterone drive. You still have sex, even though you're mad at them. You know, you have a big argument, it's not resolved, but you have make-up sex anyway because they look hot and you're turned on, and why not? But over time, like when you've been in the relationship longer and that early in-love phase is gone, and as you get older, your testosterone levels go down. If you're in a male body, if you're in a female body, they actually go up until your mid-30s. But if you're in a male body, the level of testosterone you have when you're 18 or 20 is like this, and it comes down pretty rapidly. So by the time you're in your 30s, if you're resenting someone, if you have an unresolved issue with someone, if you feel like they don't get you, they don't care, they're not showing up for you, they're in their own world or something, you're much less likely to want to have sex with that person emotionally. And it's quite a tricky thing to get a grip on when you started your sex life with so much testosterone going on that arousal was never an issue, desire was never an issue, the issue was scarcity, the issue was finding someone who matched you and somebody who wanted to participate with you. And so this change, when you've been in a long-term relationship for a while, when you're getting a bit older, this change can be quite disorienting. And if you do use variety, talking about fantasies, kinky things and all that kind of stuff, you can increase your testosterone again, because novelty, and especially if you're going into things like polyamory or swinging or something where you have the possibility of interacting sexually with a new woman, that will really boost your testosterone. But it doesn't solve the root cause of what's going on as to why you aren't wanting to have sex with your partner. It can be a big boost that lasts for years, opening up your relationship. But unless you really get down in there and resolve the underlying emotional conflicts, they will eventually surface again, and in a much more virulent form, because there's several more years of resentment built up. And some of the things you might have done during that time to spice things up might even feed the resentment, because one partner might be doing these things just to satisfy the other partner, not because they themselves really want to do them. So you have to be super careful when you go into this spicing up to make sure that both of you are genuinely wanting whatever it is that you do and genuinely enjoying whatever it is that you do. Because otherwise you just feed the underlying resentment and you make the whole situation worse. So at the end of the day, the way that you're going to be able to keep your sex life interesting and spontaneous and passionate and dynamic and ongoing is not any kind of simple technique or trick like spicing it up with sex toys or opening the relationship or anything like that. It has to do with really getting good at navigating the emotional relationship, resolving conflicts, expressing concerns and resentments, setting boundaries, being a fully rounded human being in relationship with another fully rounded human being. That's when you'll get the kind of passion that can last for a lifetime.